Today we are talking about trying to get the timing right. I'm Pamela Moore with Northern Nevada's Moore Real Estate Group at Chase International. Have you ever noticed how often people say, oh, no, we're just trying to get the timing right? If you're a homeowner here in Reno or Sparks, there's a good chance you might have said that, or at least thought it, at those 2 a.m. discussions we have. Honestly, it makes total sense. It's human nature. Home is not just a house. It's comfort, it's security, it's safety. And for most people, me included, it's a big piece of your net worth. So today, I want to slow this conversation down a little bit. What are people actually trying to time, and which parts are truly within their control? Let's start with the big one, interest rates. Have you noticed how interest rates dominate every real estate headline, even for people who aren't even planning to move anytime soon? Many homeowners say that they're waiting for rates to come down before making a move. Others feel stuck. They don't want to give up that rate that they locked in a few years ago. Here's the factual, data-driven truth. Interest rates are set by national economic forces. We know this in our brain. Inflation, Federal Reserve policy, bond markets, that's what affects interest rates. They are not tied to the real estate housing market in Reno Sparks. They don't move on our personal timelines, make no mistake. So, can you control interest rates? No. But can you control how you respond to them? Absolutely. It might mean coming up with a little more down payment. It might mean a temporary rate buy down. It might mean working with your lender and really exploring some creative loan structures that fit your big picture, or even adjusting order of selling and buying. The rate itself isn't in your control, but the strategy that you approach it with 100% is. Now, let's talk about prices. Always a good topic. Have you noticed how people often say, ooh, I just don't want to sell too soon, or too late, right? That fear is completely understandable. And here's what the data shows over and over again. Even professionals cannot consistently predict the peak of a market, okay? What we can see clearly is that our market in Reno Sparks moves in cycles, not straight lines. And long-term homeowners often have more significant equity simply from time and appreciation. Most sellers who do well aren't the ones who are aiming for the peak. They're the ones who sell when their equity supports their own personal goal, when the market is balanced enough to create some ease in moving, and their life timing makes sense. Okay, you can't control the peak again, but you can control your pricing, your strategy, preparation, and positioning. Okay. Another one I hear a lot is, oh, I'll sell once there's more inventory to choose from. Now, this comes up often with homeowners thinking of downsizing or relocating. And here's the reality. Again, inventory in Reno Sparks has been tight for years. It rises and falls seasonally, but it doesn't swing from scarcity to abundance overnight. Okay? Increasingly, when inventory improves, so do buyers. Competition improves as well. You can't control the inventory levels. However, you can control whether you buy or sell first. You can control what your options are, what choices you make for temporary housing options, or if you're planning around new construction timelines, sometimes it gives you a little more predictability. So now, what a lot of people don't say out loud, but I feel like it's always the question running in the background, the life timing. It's about change. It's a big change. Okay, for homeowners between 40 and 75 years old, timing is connected to retirement or retirement planning, oftentimes, energy levels and health, being closer to family, and just not wanting to take care of quite as large a home anymore. Okay, here's what, again, our data consistently shows. Homeowners who plan before they make the change tend to have more choices, less stress, and more financial flexibility. This is very much in your control. So let's redefine what good timing might actually mean. Good timing is not about correctly predicting the market, because almost no one can. Good timing is about aligning the market with your life. Here's the simple breakdown. Things you can control when you start planning, even quietly, even just starting to look into things. Understanding your equity, exploring options before you need them, creating flexibility rather than pressure. I think that's a goal worth pursuing. Things you cannot control: the interest rate headlines, national economic shifts, perfect highs and perfect lows. Cannot control. So if you've been thinking, oh, I'm not ready yet, but I want to be smart about this, you're not behind. You're right on time. You're here. You're reaching out. You're getting information. If you'd like, I'm happy to help you look at what your equity realistically supports, whether it's equity in a home or your investments, selling now versus selling later options, and other low stress transitional scenarios that don't require rushing. No pressure, no hype, just clear information, discussion, really enabling you to make the decisions that you know you're ready to make. Remember, this is the main thing. The questions that you think might be obvious are oftentimes the most important ones, not the ones to skip over. I'm Pamela Moore with Northern Nevada's Moore Real Estate Group. Happy to talk anytime. Take care.